So today first we will discuss about FHRP, what is FHRP and all, okay? And after that we will start with the ECL. So if I'm talking about FHRP, so this is all about first hop redundancy protocol. This is type of HA in the network. HA means high availability there. Means redundancy, or you can say type of backup. Type of backup here. This is always for the device concept in case if your device down or in case if your LAN interface will be down, then this concept will work. In case if your WAN interface will down, then FHRP won't work. Okay, then FHRP won't work. So we have different concepts. So first write down why do we need FHRP for device and for the LAN concepts, not for WAN. Just in case if your device will down and then if LAN. Okay, not for WAN, not for WAN. Means let's consider this is one of my edge router. This is outside router, edge router, sorry, and this is one of ISP, and this is one of the servers here. And this is inside. This is one of my switch here, one of the switch. And now these are the two AND devices we have, AND device A and device B. Okay, and device A and device B. And we are connected with this one, and this is like this way. This one is. This IP, consider it. This is as a 10.10 I'm using here. The network I'm using here 10.1.1.0/24. So this IP is 10.1.1.10. Here, these two devices also connected with the switch. This is connected with the switch here again. And IP on this device is 10.1, and this is 10.2. Clear? So these are the what? These are the IP addresses on these two devices. This is IP, and this is again IP for the device here. What is my gateway now? The gateway is 10.10, and what is the gateway over here? Gateway is again 10.10. Correct or not? 10.10 and 10.10. Any doubt? Let's consider in this network now I have thousands of devices. Or let's consider in this network /24, how many valid IPs? 254. So let's consider I have 250 devices in this one. How many devices? 250. 250 end devices I'm talking about. So for all the 250 devices, what is the next hop or what is the gateway? That is 10.10. Clear or not? Now, let's consider this router is down now. This is down. Maybe this interface is down. Let's consider this interface is down. So your traffic is traveling what? Via like this way. This interface down. So obviously we are not able to send or we are not able to access what? Internet over there. That's not possible. Second thing, maybe this router itself is down. Maybe power is not there. Maybe it's power off. Or maybe some hardware issue with this particular device only. So again, we are not able to what? Communicate with the outside routers, outside servers. Third scenario is this router is also okay. LAN is also okay. This interface down. This interface is what? Towards WAN. Okay, so this interface is known as outside interface. This interface is also known as outside, and this interface is inside here. So if your this WAN interface will down, then FHRP won't work. Then we have another topic, another concept. That topic is known as tracking. If your WAN interface will down, so which topic will be there? Which concept? Tracking there. Note it down. Because for device and for LAN, what is that? Then we have FHRP. But what about WAN? Then we have tracking. Not tracking, exact it's track. Done. Now, So let's consider, first of all, we will discuss about this town and this device over here. Okay, because track is not the part of our syllabus. Now let's consider if this device is down, so we need a backup, right? So for the backup, now I'm using one router here, the 105 router. This router is also connected with the ISP, and this router is connected with this one. This router is there. What is the IP we are using? Let's consider I'm using here 10.11. Clear? Now, let's consider right now, out of these two routers, one router is active. Means my whole traffic is going via what? This router. What is the reason? The reason is we have mentioned the gateway as a what? 10.10. What is the gateway here? 10.10. So the reason is mentioned what we have mentioned here, 10.10. How many devices do we have? Let's consider we have 250 devices. So it means on 250 devices, we have configured gateway as a what? As a 10.1.1.10. Let's consider this device is down. We need a backup, but still from these devices, let's consider just now at time t0, this router is down. Okay, and now you guys are not able to access this particular server. The reason is because your gateway is down. We have another router now. What is the IP over there? 10.11. So it means this gateway I have to change. We have to change what? Gateway. Because if you will keep it here 10.10, so it means data will travel where? It will go to the router only, and router is already down. We have to divert the data or traffic where? To this device. So for that thing, it means I have to change what? IP, gateway, because last time it was what? .10, and now I have to make it .11. So it means I have to make it what? .11. Let's consider this is one of the HR team. They are not aware about any IP addresses and all. Even they don't know how to assign it. Okay. So now you are a network admin and you are the alone here. Today you are alone. Your colleagues are not there. They are on the leave or something there. So how much time will it take for you to change the gateway from .10 to .11, all the 250 devices? You have to change it manually. There's it. Okay. Clear or not? Okay, let's consider you are using static IPs. Okay, so how much time will it take? Maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, maybe more than that. Okay, and after some time, once or this device will be up, okay, again you have to make it what? .11. Let's consider somehow you have changed it now. 10 to 11. After some time, this device will be up, then you have to make it what? .11 to .10. Manually it's not possible because this is here I'm talking about 250 devices only. Let's consider I'm using /22 /21. Is that possible? No, that is not scalable solution. Clear or not? Okay, the problem is clear or not? First, because problem is we have to change the gateways there. Then there is a concept that is all about FHRP. Then they came with the concept of FHRP. Up to now, that was not FHRP. That was the manual concept. Okay, now FHRP is there, and FHRP is divided into 3 parts. First is HSRP, second is VRRP, and the third is all about GLBP. HSRP is your Cisco proprietary. What? Cisco proprietary means will work only on the Cisco devices, and other 2 methods are all about multi-vendors. Okay, or you can say open standard. So I'll give you the brief idea about this thing. Now let's consider I have to use HSRP here. I'm using what? I'm using here HSRP. There is some configuration with the help of those commands. I'll configure here HSRP. How FHRP will help us now? Okay, let's consider its MAC address A and this MAC address is B. Okay, so in my ARP cache with .10 and with .11, A and B MAC address will be configured there. 10.10, 10.11. Am I right or not? Clear? Obviously, ARP will be there, and with .10, what's the MAC? A, and with .11, what's the MAC? B is there. Okay. Now let's consider I have enabled HSRP. And once you will enable HSRP or VRRP, okay, immediately one concept will be there. That concept is virtual IP and virtual MAC address. What is that? Virtual IP and virtual MAC address. Please note it down. Once you will enable FHRP, or you can say HSRP, VRRP, or GLBP, immediately one concept will be there. That is all about virtual IP there. With the help of the HSRP, we have to configure one virtual IP on both the devices. Let's consider that virtual IP is, and just make sure that virtual IP should be from the same network. Okay, so let's consider I'm using here 10.1.1.100. This is one of the virtual IP, and one fixed virtual MAC address is there. I'll show you what is that MAC address. So now this is what? This is virtual IP. Ten dot 1.1.10 is the virtual IP. Any IP you can configure, but make sure that should be unique in the network, and that should be from the same network. Okay. Now 10.1.1.100. Okay. Now let's consider I have enabled HSRP here. Okay, HSRP here, and once you will enable HSRP, during configuration part itself, router will ask you, please configure source a virtual IP there. So then you have to configure .100. Now this IP is configured. We have configured here, and this IP we have configured here also. Okay. According to HSRP, how many routers do we have now? 2 routers. One router will be active, and another router will be standby. These are the states. What are the states? Active or standby. Please note it down. In HSRP you can't. In VRRP again 2, but in GLBP up to 5. Active and standby. Active means the route. Okay, let's consider right now. Gateway I'm using what? .10 and .10. Okay, so it means my traffic is going via this router there. This router I'm using what? As a backup or not? This is for the backup. So this router state, this router is known as a, this is the, what is the state? Standby state. And router is going via where? Here. So this router is what? Active. Once this router will be down, then this router will become what? Active. Okay, and this router will be in which state? This will be in the down state. Router off, so down state. This virtual IP 10.1.1.100, what we have configured, will be active only on one router at a time. You have to configure on the both the routers, but it will be active on at a time on a single router. And on which router? That will be on the active router. If at time T0, if your router 1 is active, so it means your this IP will be active where? On this router. At T time 1, if this is active, then it will be active where? On the this router. Okay. Now the concept is all about gateway, because where we were facing the issues, we were facing the issues with the IPs there, gateways there. So now what will be gateway here, guys? The gateway will be 10.100. What's the gateway now? 10.100. Let's consider at this time this router is active and this router is in the standby state. Okay. So virtual IP is there. What is the virtual IP? .100. This is active where? On this router. What do you have mentioned here? 10.100. Traffic will be via this way. Clear? After some time, let's consider this router is in the down state. Okay. And this standby router became what? Active, and this is on this side. This is active here. Okay, so now active is there, but what is the IP, physical IP? Dot 11. But this time, this dot 100, because dot 100 IP will be active always on the active router. And now who's the active? This is the active, so it will be active on this type. So now this is what? Again dot 100, and dot 100 is what? Again my active router. Do I need to change any type of gateways here? No, that is not. Okay, so after that, your traffic will be divert to the this one. Why duplication? No, but at the same time, one router will be active, not two. And on active router, your virtual IP will be active. That's it. Okay, because if it will be active on the both the devices, then obviously duplication will be conflict. Okay, so that concept is clear. So this is all about like this way. Your HSRP, BRRP concepts will work. Okay. So after that, in HSRP, VRRP, there is so many features like preemption, load balancing, and all. Because let's consider that right now, guys, I have spent 5 lakh rupees on this router, and for the backup, I have spent 5 lakh rupees on this one. Okay, and right now this is my active router, or let's consider this is my active router. My whole traffic is going via what? This router only. From last 3 years, my this router is working fine. Okay, nothing, no failover, nothing happened there. Okay, so it means from last 3 years, this router, I have resources, but I'm not able to use it because this is just for the backup there. Is it in a feasible solution? No. Then we need some load balancing type of things. Okay, I'll do one thing. Both routers I'll keep as active. My 50% of data will travel via this one and 50% of the data from this one. So that concept is known as load balancing. What is that? Load balancing. HSRP doesn't support any type of load balancing. Then we have the concept of VRRP there. No, I'm not getting. Can you repeat it again? You are talking about this router. This router. Okay, this is active. That is before HSRP. See now in gateways, see here, what are the gateway I have mentioned? Once you will enable FHRP here or HSRP here, okay? So then that physical IP address you don't have to use. Forget about that. Just you have to use only one IP, and that is all about virtual IP. And then assign your gateway what? Dot 100 here and then dot. And now if this router is active, so this IP is active on this one, your traffic will be diverted to the will be like this way. And in case if this router is active, then it will be like this way. Okay, and there is no concept about physical IP once you will enable your HSRP concept. Okay, always virtual IP. Yeah. So in HSRP doesn't support any type of load balancing, but VRRP we have load balancing. But by default, that is not enabled. We have to enable that. Then in GLBP, we have by default load balancing. Okay. In HSRP and VRRP, max to max, we can use 2 routers, not more than that. But in GLBP, we can use up to 5 routers. Okay, up to 4 or 5, even not more than that. Okay, even that is not required also. So like this way, all these things works, guys. So FHRP is clear. Why do we need FHRP in the network? Just for the backup. Okay. And if we are using FHRP, then we need virtual IP concepts. Okay. Then there's a physical gateway concept is not there, all about virtual IP or virtual gateways.
Uh, 10.10, then once that order is paid in the end devices, like we will have to change the gateway, right?
If you are not using HSRP, then you have to do that. This was the issue before that. That's why they came with that HSRP concept. Because after FHRP, what is the concept? Use virtual IP and assign this virtual IP as a gateway. Don't use your physical IP, because if you are using physical interfaces, and in case if this is active, this is the main router, and if it will be down, so then all the 250 devices, you have to change your gateway from .10 to you have to make it as a .11. This was a problem before that.
Then, like, virtual, will have to change in the entire.
No, why you have to change it? Because once you will configure gateway, then you don't have to configure .10 or .11. Directly you have to configure .100 only devices, obviously, because gateway, so you have to configure. Use one DHCP server, configure here as a IP address is whatever, or configure gateway over there, gateway .100. So once these devices will go to the DHCP server to receive the IP, then .100 will be gateway. And in case if you are using static method in your network, so then obviously if you are assigning manual IP, so you have to assign manual gateway also. Okay, so then use the gateway as a .100, because physical IP, because last time we were using physical interface IPs as a gateways, so we were facing the issues. The reason was before that it was active and it was standby. Okay, or let's consider it was we were using as a backup. My traffic was going from where? From here only. And what was the gateway we were using? .10. But after that, what happened? This router went down. Okay, this is now in the down state. And now, what is the IP? .11. So we have to make it what? .11. So that is not a feasible solution. That's why they came with the FHRP. And FHRP came with the which concept? Virtual IP. And now assign the gateway as a virtual IP. Virtual IP. Clear? Clear, guys? Oh, 50 with 50%. 50% traffic will divert from A, 50% will traffic with the B at the same time. In CCNP. Not clear. Okay, guys. Any doubt? This is clear or not? What is FHRP? So this is all about FHRP concept. So we have HSRP, VRRP, and GLVP, 3 protocols into that. Okay. So we are done with routing today. .10 to the where? 10.10.
10.11, right? So when that router goes down, you're told that we have to change IDP configuration of the 250 devices.
That was before FHRP.
No, I'm telling you, like
you don't have any. You don't have any access of router. You are system admin. Now tell me. Now clear. Okay, guys. Okay. Now, any doubt here? Any question? Access control list, which we use to allow the traffic and to deny the traffic. Guys, tomorrow onwards, the class entry time is 7:55, not after that. Okay. Here only you have to show me your task. If I'll give you the task, if you will finish it, then only I'll allow you for the classes. Okay. Timing says what? 7:55. You have to bring your laptop. So these are the conditions to enter in the class. This is right up to now. Open gate. If you are coming here at 8:15, 8:30, no one is asking to you, right? But now the conditions are there. Okay. This concept is known as ECU. Don't worry. This is just example. Okay. This is what? Means access list. Conditions now. Okay. So we have to put the conditions over there. Okay. So to allow the traffic and to deny the traffic. Clear? Now, there's a two type of access list there. Okay, two types are there. Type of access list, if I'm talking about two types. One is standard and second is extend. It's all about extended. If we are using standard list, so when see ACL is all about conditions. Okay, so once you will use standard access list, then we have to use always source IP, or you can use here network. Means only what thing we have to use it, source only. But if I'm talking about extended one, then I can use source IP, I can use destination I can use destination IP also. I can use here source network, I can use here destination network, I can use here any protocol number, I can use here any port number. Okay, so you can see here this is more flexible, so many conditions are there. Clear or not? So tomorrow onwards 7:55 task should be completed. You have to bring one laptop over there. Okay, in that laptop packet tracer should be there, GNS should be there, Wireshark should be running. Okay, so means all these are the what? These are the conditions. Okay, so means if you are putting more and more filters on that. Okay, let's consider I'm on Amazon side. Okay, and I'm purchasing something. Okay, let's consider I have to purchase one mobile phone. So filters are there. Okay, first of all, they will show you the options. Which company would you like to go? Let's consider you want to go with the MI. Okay, because so many options are there. After that, they will show you, okay, these are we have ranges over there. What is your budget? Up to 10 to 15, 15 to 20, or 15 to 18, or more than 40, or what is that? After that, they will ask you, okay, what is the next concept is, what do you want to look like, go with 16 GB or 32 GB RAM? Okay, so in so many options we have. So, okay, so what is that? That is all about filters there. Because your exact requirement is what? I need an MI mobile within the budget of 20,000 with 8 GB of RAM at least. Okay, with 128 GB of ROM. Okay, 2 GB of graphics card. This is your requirement. Okay, so out of 1,000 devices, if this is your requirement, so this is what? Filter or not? Okay, then we will go with the one, because out of 1,000 I can't purchase 10 or 20 devices. I need exact one, and I need all these features within that particular device. So same, these are the filters there. Okay, so and in case if you have one scenario, okay, you need a one extra mobile, you are already using one mobile, okay, phone, and with dual SIM or everything there. Okay, but you need one Samsung small mobiles, the keypad one. Okay, because battery backup is too good, and also for the backup you need. So on that time, okay, give me any mobile there. Okay, that should be within the 2,000. That's it. Because on that time I'm not going with RAM, ROM, graphics cards, and all. Okay, then only give me that. So only one filter is there. That should be between 2,000 or 3,000, not more than that. That's it. So that concept is all about standard. So let's consider there is a 3 routers. Okay, it's like this way and this way here. This is 10.1. We are using here 10.2. I'm using here 11.2 and 11.3. Okay, let's consider already configured. Good morning, Aman. So we have already configured here, routing and everything is there, and we have reachability from here to here. Or otherwise, just consider behind this router, we have a loopback. And again, here we have a loopback, and that loopback is I'm using as a 1.1.1, and here I'm using a loopback for that. I hope loopback concept is clear. Okay. Now, from loopback to loopback, I'm able to ping. I'm able to telnet everything is done. Or from this router to this router, I'm able to ping. I'm able to telnet. I'm able to SSH. Everything is done. Okay, so let's consider this router I'm using as a, I have configured different services, Telnet, SSH, HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, and by default, ping is all. Okay, all these services are enabled, means all type of traffic is possible, or can we can transfer any type of traffic from this router to this router. We are sending the traffic from where to where? From here to this one. So according to this router, from this router, who is my gateway? 10.2 is my gateway, or you can say 10.2 is what? Gateway or next hop, because next hop and gateway is the same concept. So from this router, we are able to, I'm able to ping here, I'm able to telnet, I'm able to SSH, HTTP, HTTPS, everything is done. But now my requirement is and let's consider in between I have one switch, and now I have two more routers, and both the routers are connected with this one. And IP I'm using here 10.3, and this is 10.4. Clear? This is now one network here. I'm using switch in between that. So what is my gateway? Next up we have configure .2. My requirement is from, this is our router 1, router 3, router 4 according to IPs. Okay. From router 1 to the router 3, I have to allow only ping traffic. Which traffic? Ping. And after that, I have to block all the other traffic. I have to block telnet, I have to block SSH, HTTP, HTTPS, FTP. So means only which access? Only ping access. And for the ping, which protocol do we use? ICMP. So it means from this router, I'm talking about, because this is my gateway. Today, after this class, you have to first finish your task and then you can go to home. That is what? That is condition. Correct or not? So it means this is exit interface. That is what? Exit interface here. Okay. So let's consider these are the you guys, and you have to go where? You have to go to home. Okay. But here one condition is mentioned: first finish your task. Okay. Finish your task, show to the Saket. If that guy will say yes, everything is fine, then only you can go. Okay. So that is what? That is the conditions there. So same here now. My condition is from router 1, you have to allow only which traffic? ICMP traffic. So the traffic is going from where? The traffic is taking exit from here itself. So what I'll do, I'll mention here if 10.1.1.1, if from 10.1.1.1, if your any telnet traffic is coming, let's consider if is there any telnet traffic. Okay, if SSH traffic, or if there HTTP traffic, or is there HTTPS traffic, so or maybe about FTP traffic there, so or please deny that. Deny means block. Deny means what? Deny means block. Then second condition I'm putting here, if traffic is coming from 10.1.1.2, okay, ping and telnet. What is that? And other traffic allow. Which traffic we have mentioned? Ping and telnet. And for 10.3, this is .3 case. .2 is my gateway now, so not this one. .3 here. .4. From .4, .4 block HTTP and HTTPS. This is deny. And other traffic is what? So these are the conditions. So it means if this router from .4, if you will try to telnet with this device, okay, if you will try to generate the packets here to the this one here, telnet one. So once traffic will comes here, immediately the router will check it. Which traffic? Telnet traffic, and telnet traffic from where? 10.4 and what? This is only what? Deny, so please allow that thing. And in case if you have to allow, let's consider you are sending which traffic? HTTP or HTTPS. So what is the action with that? Deny. Because see, out of this one, telnet, SSH, I'm using only this traffic concept. Telnet, SSH, HTTP, HTTPS, FTP is denied. So what is allowed? Only ICMP. What is allowed here? ICMP. If ping and telnet is denied, ping and telnet is denied, other traffic is what? Allowed there. And here is this is what? HTTP and HTTPS is denied. So it means remaining traffic is what? Allowed. Clear? So from 10.1, if you will try to generate any telnet traffic, any SSH traffic, HTTP, HTTPS or FTP, that is not possible because all the traffic is what? Blocked here. Let's consider from router 1. Okay, do one thing. First, note it down. We will generate, then we will generate the traffic one by one from both the devices. So now the thing is from router 1, okay, which traffic is now allowed? Only ICMP. From here, ping and telnet is denied. So which traffic is allowed from here? The traffic is HTTP allowed, HTTPS done, and then FTP. Okay, only just consider these three traffics. That is what? That is allowed. Okay. Now let's consider from PC1. Okay, from the router 1, which traffic is allowed? Ping only, and after that remaining traffic it was block here, and that traffic is blocked where? Here itself. Now let's consider this is that packet format now. Okay, let's consider now source IP, destination IP, and protocol, source port, and then destination port. Okay, this is all about from router 1. The first say then right, Arvind. Now, what's the source IP from here? 10.1. What's the destination IP? Consider 11.3. What's the protocol for telnet? I'm going with the telnet. What's the protocol? TCP. Protocol number? What's the source port? Not. No. Tell me. See the header. I'm going with telnet. Tell me the source port. 23. Okay. Destination port? You only. What's your name? Vijay. Okay. Tell me the destination port. Okay. First, let me go with the telnet only. Next, telnet port. Oh, sorry. Source port. Vishnu, right? Dinesh. Okay. What's the source port? 23. Next. Next, Raghu. Next. 23. Next. Random. It's time gone, buddy. Next. Random. Next. No idea. 23. Very good. Yes, tell me. No idea. Get an idea, buddy. Okay, there's no signal for Geo and all. Next. No idea. Wow. Yes, Shalini. No idea. Very good. Yes. Very good. Random. Yes. Who said 443? I'm talking about telnet here right now. Okay. Yes. 43. Even not 443. Guess, just random guess. Huh? Yes. Now tell me again. What's the source port? Okay, not sure. Yes. Random. Okay. What's the random? What? Yeah, tell me anything. 455. 455. 32. What is the range? What is the range for this random number? Can you tell me? Okay, because random you said, so let's consider this one. This is also random. This is all about random port number. If you know, that's good. If you don't know, very good. I don't know. I forgot everything. I don't know. What is the destination port? 23. So what? 23 here. Guys, in ports numbers, if we're talking about port assignment, because we are assigning the port numbers, so source port is always about random port assignment. What is that? Random port assignments. And what's the value there? 1. Yes, you. What's your name? What's your name? Okay, Harry. Just tell me the range. 102426553335. Okay, and then we have non-port number. Okay, that is 021023 up to this. Okay, so source port is always from which range? That is from here only. So this is why, that's why I have mentioned what? Random port. And this is from the non one. And because telnet, what's the port number for telnet? What is port number for SSH? 32. 52. HTTP 180. HTTPS 43. Okay, 443. Thank you. FTP, and for deny, it's nothing. It's action. Okay, this packet is ready. Now, packet will be to this router. That's coming here only. Now let's consider you have configured here one of the standard list, standard access list, and this according to standard access list, telnet, SSH, HTTP, HTTPS, FTP traffic is denied. So according to standard list, because standard access list will check only source, it will check only source there. So now 10.1 is the source we have mentioned. What's the source IP? 10.1. What is the now protocol I'm using? Destination port 23. 23 is mentioned here. So traffic is what? Block here itself. Okay. 11.3. My intention is, let's consider one more example here. One more thing I'm adding. We have one more network here. That network is 100 and this IP is 100.1. My intention is from here, I have to block the traffic just for the 11.3, not for the 100.1. Because for 100.1, I have to allow all type of traffic. I'm using here which list? Standard list. Let's consider second time my destination is 100.1. Second packet with same source IP, same protocol, same destination, same everything is same. Okay. This time, this second packet is coming here. This is a router. I'm using which list here? Standard list. According to standard list, it will check only what? Source IP. It will check source IP is what? 10.1. Immediately will block the traffic. It won't check it what is the destination, because standard list will check always source IP or source network. That's it. Nothing else. Only source. That's it. Clear or not? Only one filter, that is us, only source there. What is your destination? That doesn't matter here. Clear or not? Standard list is clear. What is standard list here? Please note it down. Standard list always checks your source IP. That's it. Only one condition, that is only on source. But this is all about standard list. Now, second condition is all about extended one. Let's consider I have 3 routers. Now, ten dot 1, 10.2, 20.1, 30.1, and 40.1. Okay, I'm using here access list. I'm using here. Okay, So now the condition is, just first listen it very carefully, guys. Okay, then after that only write it. Now, what I'm going to do, if source IP is 10.1, destination IP is 20.1, okay, then let's consider I'm mentioning here allow, or you can say, yeah, allow only telnet. Allow only telnet, and remaining traffic will be bound, or you can say deny. Clear? Second condition is source IP 10.1, destination IP or 30.1. Okay. And one more thing in this one, destination is what? 20.1. Because see, if we are using about, if I'm talking about telnet here, telnet, first of all, we will check the what? It will check the protocol number. Protocol is what? TCP. And then it will check the port number. And the port number is what? 23. So how many conditions do we have in this one? We have 4 conditions. Source IP, destination IP, protocol, and then destination port. Source IP done, destination IP done. Now protocol, I'm using here 6. Protocol 6 means TCP. Okay, protocol. Okay, then port number I'm talking about here 443. So it means this all about HTTP SAL. Let's consider my action is all about allowed. Okay, and remaining traffic is what? That is all about deny. Clear or not? So let's consider from router 1, I'm generating some traffic there. First is source IP, then destination IP, source port, and then destination port. What's the source IP here? Let's consider the source IP is all about 10.1, destination IP 10.2, source port random, and let's consider destination port is using 23, and within this one more thing here, protocol number, and that is we are using what? What's the protocol number here? That is 6. Clear? This traffic is this considers first going to this router here. This router will check it. Now, what's the source IP? 10.1. Let me check with my access list here. 10.1 here. Then destination IP. Let me check it. Okay, and then then destination port 23 here. Protocol 6 and 6. What is the action? Action is all about allowed, because remaining is what? Denied. So this is what? So let me allow it. Next time, if 443 is here, traffic will be here. It will check with this access list here. What is the port number? 23. What's the destination port here? 443. Not matching with this one. Then what is the next section? Remaining is what? Denied there. So it means let me deny. Because only one action is there, that is allowed, and allowed of which traffic? Only telnet. So this time your router will use so many parameters: source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port. Okay, those type of things happen. So that concept is known as what? Your extended, means more and more flexibility we have. Clear or not? Okay, so this concept is all about extended list. So guys, difference is clear or not? What is the difference between standard access list or extended access list? Please note it down. Then allow that traffic. Sorry. Then one mention here 443 and 80 also. Obviously. Uh, at the same time, obviously one traffic will generate, na? You will one packet, maybe for HTTP, maybe for HTTPS. This is my condition. My condition, how many conditions is there? If this traffic will be allowed, three type of traffics. And not in header. Header is all about this one. This is rule which you have to configure on router only. So on router, I'll configure how many rules? I'll configure three rules there. One rule for telnet, second for HTTPS, and next for HTTP. And what is the action I'll mention? Allow. What is the action? Allow. So in case if here 443 and in case if it's 80 here, so all the three type of traffic is allowed it or not? So then it will allow all three type of. Even we can mention here time also. From morning 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. only your traffic will be allowed. After that, everything will be denied. That concept is known as time-based ACL. Okay, so extended ACLs are that much flexible. Destination IP is 20.1 because what's the destination? This is the destination. No problem. Then make it 20.1. No issue. Oh, always random. Okay. So these things, whatever is these conditions, we have to configure via commands. Okay. So if you have to allow three type of traffic, 4, 5, 6, 7, so then configure different type of commands.
And it acts as also firewall.
Right now only keep your focus on routers.
For blocking the website, we use ACL for blocking.
To block and to allow anything. No, on that there is a different thing. That is a different thing because this is we are doing here network security, network security. We are dealing with the devices. That is different. But yes, concept is same, but name is different. Then that is known as policies. There, we have to use the policies and we have to configure. Done. Yes. Now, if I'm talking about ports numbers and all, we have some ranges concept. We have some range and all. So same here in the access list, we have to use the range. Once you have to configure the ACL, then we have to define some range, some its number as well. If its numbering is 1 to 99, that ACL is known as standard ACL. And if it's about 100 to 199, that is known as extended ACL. So one thing, see, first thing here, see, don't write it's wrong. Now, actually standard list and extended list. See, guys, what's your name? Arvind. If I'll assign here roll numbers as well, let's consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have two identities in this class. One is what? Name, and second is what? Roll numbers. If I'm saying, let's consider his name is Arvind and his roll number is 1. So if I'm saying roll number 1 or if I'm saying Arvind, it's the same thing. I'm calling the same object or same person, right? So same in access list, if we have to configure standard or extended ACLs, let's consider I'm configuring standard ACLs here. Okay. So we have two concepts here. Okay. The first is we have to define it with the help of name. We can define here what? Name here. And second is behalf of number. Behalf of number. The name could be anything and the number is 0 to 99. 1 to 99. And same here, extend it also with the help of name, and then second is behalf of numbers. So number is what? 100 to 199, and name could be anything. Okay, so depends on you. Once you are doing the configuration, are you using name or are you using number here? Now, name you can use anything. Okay, but first of all, you have to keep your focus on the number based, not on name based. Clear? So two methods are there. So one is name and second is number, name and number. Clear? Not at all. We will do one thing, guys. Next week onwards, we will daily we will go with the one assessment. Okay, maybe in between for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, I'll take one assessment, and daily I'll assign you some grades there. Out of 10, 1, 2, 3, according to your performance. I'll go with the 3 assessments in the upcoming, the remaining classes. Okay, and you have to score more than 7 there. Let's consider 10 plus 10 plus 10. 3 days will be there. Out of 30, you have to go with the 21. If you will score 20 or more than 20, then you will be allowed for the CCNP. Otherwise, you have to repeat your batch. This is ACL. Okay. This is what? This is ACL. But ACL is configured. But I said ki next week onwards. But when it's going to be implemented, that is not decided yet. Maybe from Monday, maybe from Tuesday, maybe from Thursday, maybe from Friday. So now my ACL is ready. Clear or not? This is done. Name, number, name, number. So on this router, this is one of my ACL is there. That is ready or not? Ready there? How many interfaces do we have on this one? 4 interfaces we have. 1, 2, 3, and 4. ACE rule is ready, but that is not implemented yet. And how to implement, how this rule or how this ACL will be activated? If you have to make it active, you have to assign on interface. So it means if you had just configured the rule and you forget to assign on the interface, so on that time, it means that access list is not activated yet. Okay, so rule is ready, but you have to activate. So how many options do we have? 4 interface, 4. On which interface do we have to implement? And on which interface on this router? 1, 2, 3, or 4. Let's consider you are using on this one here. You have mentioned here if source IP is 10.1 and destination IP is 20.1. On this interface, on every interfaces, guys, we have always 2 policies. One, we have inbound policy, and second, we have outbound. This is inbound and this is outbound. Please mention it. We have 2 type of on any device, on any interface. We have always 2 type of policies. This, okay, not it down. This is networker's home. This is the entrance gate on the first floor. And you are here for admission, for CSAS security. What are the first policies? You have to fill one admission form. You have to pay your fees. You have to give your one ID card. And after that, you have to start your classes there. That is the policy once you will join it. Once you will done with your trainings and all, and final, what is the final procedure? You will get placed somewhere. Okay. After the placement, one testimonial will be there, video testimonial. Okay. Then you have to give some reviews and all. Okay. And then some sweets. Okay. Then someone small party. Okay. So that is what? Outbound policies. Once you are taking exit from there. So different policies or not. So right now on this interface, we are receiving the traffic, and from here we can transmit the traffic, ingress traffic or egress traffic. Okay. So once the traffic is coming on this interface, So then which policy will be enabled? Your inbound policy will. And once traffic is going out, so then which policy will be there? Outbound policies. Clear? Inbound and outbound policy is clear or not? ACL is we have to use, or we can use ACL as an inbound also, or we can use it as a outbound also for the both the concepts. Yes, bidirectional. ACL we can use it as an inbound or outbound policy. First mention it, what is inbound and what is outbound policy, and then mention yes, ACL we can use it as inbound and outbound also. Okay, let's consider you have implemented that ACL on fit. This is ACL, and ACL number I'm using here 1110. This is my ACL number. Okay, 110 is all about extended one, and this is what extended concept here. Let's consider that ACL I have configured where on port interface. So guys, tell me, will it works? No, because see, I have mentioned here what we have mentioned source IP as a what 10.1. So on this interface, once you will receive the traffic in an inbound policy, what will be the source IP? 40.1 or not? Is there any possibility for the 10.1 there? Not at all, because 10 dot is where 10 dot is here. So the first thing is that you have to configure the rule, and then you have to choose correct interface. On which interface you are going to be use this particular ACL. Okay, so because see, actually I have to use it here, but just consider by mistake you have configured on this one, maybe on this one, maybe on this one. So that is what wrong configuration. So then this ACL is not going to work, because on this interface source IP will be always what 20.1, here 30.1, and this is what all about 40. So it means this in this particular traffic, oh sorry, this rule you have to configure on which interface? You have to configure on this. Clear? From this interface, two type of traffics we have. One is ingress and second is egress here. So then you have to configure direction as well. Which type of traffic do you want to configure it for the in direction or for the out direction? So guys, is this is for what? This is for the in, because traffic will is what like this way. So then you have to define your direction here on which interface? F01 interface, and then what should be the direction? Direction should be in. So first you have to configure ACL, and then you have to decide two things: interface, and then what is the direction of that particular traffic. Is that in or is that out? Clear? First configure the rule, then you have to select the interface, and then you have to select the direction. So three things you have to do at the same time. Okay, not it. What happened, Rakesh? Okay, first note it down. Then I'll look it. Confused? Okay. Okay. Let's consider three routers. Okay. (11.2). Let's consider it. Okay. Now, my overall requirement is from source IP one rule is there, which okay, that I'm going to configure on router 2. Source IP is what 10.1. Okay. If destination IP is 11.2. Okay. If protocol is 6. If destination port is 23, then you have to take one action, and that action is deny. That is what deny, because on this From here onwards, I just want to block which traffic? Telnet traffic. This is clear or not up to here? Okay. Now, I'm on which interface? I'm on which router, guys? Router 2. My rule is configured, but still this rule is disabled. This is not in the active state. After this, even if you will generate any telnet traffic from here, that will be allowed, because this is just rule configured but not implemented. Okay, so if you have to be implement this thing, this rule, okay, ACL, this is what? This is one of my ACL here. So if you have to configure it, guys, ACL always works on interface. It's always works on where? On the interface itself. Okay, this is step number 1. Step number 2, it's always works on interface. So you have to select interface now. On which interface should I configure it? Should I configure on this interface or this interface? So see, what is the rule? Source IP is what? 10.1. Let's consider if I'm using on this interface. Okay, so from here, what is the packet I'll receive? Source IP as a what? 11.2, not 10.1. Because where is my 10.1? 10.1 on this interface. Let's consider on this router we have more interfaces. One more interface, one more interface. One more router, one more router. Here the network is 50. Here network is 70. So is there any possibility for 10.1 from here? Not at all. Any possibility from here? No. Is there any possibility? No. On which interface this possibility is there? On this one. So it means on which interface I have to assign it? F01. Clear or not? But still, ACL is not activated because one more thing is missing. That is what? Directions. How many directions we have? Always 2 directions. One is as a what? In, and second is out here. So this ACL I have to configure in which direction? In, because when this router will check this ACL, once traffic will come to this interface there, and once the traffic is coming here, what is the direction? In is the direction. What is the direction? In is there. Because here, let's consider from here, if out is the direction, what will be the source IP? 10.2 or not? Is there any possibility for the 10.1 as a source? Not at all. Maybe traffic is coming from here for this one. So what is the source IP? 70.1, then 11.2, 50.1. Is there any possibility for the 10.1? No. So it means you are using ACL on correct interface, but direction is wrong. So how many directions do we have? 2, in or out. So what is the direction I'm going to be using here? In direction. Okay, once your traffic will be on in this interface, now this is what? In direction, correct interface. Here itself now your router will check it. What's the source IP? 10.1, 11.2, 6, 23. Okay, you are blocked, buddy. You can't travel. On interface itself, it will block your traffic. Clear or no? Now this is clear, Arvind? Yes, Rakesh, clear? Not at all. So 3 things. Step number 1, configure ACL. So step number 2, decide the interface, and step number 3, decide the direction. This is clear, guys? Done? Okay, not at all. No, that is normal concept. Inbound and outbound. Extended we haven't. As extended was about source IP, destination IP protocol. That's it. We haven't discussed anything about this. We will start it about extended. So inbound and outbound is normal direction from this interface. This is a considered interface. In traffic, out traffic. Once you are coming in, that is inbound policy. Once you are going out, that is outbound policy. That's it. Yes, same thing. Just policy why we are using, because once you are coming here, first we are checking your temperature. Maybe your temperature is more than 100. Okay, then you are not allowed. So what is that? That is conditions. This is a shopping mall. Once you are going out, show me first your, it's in any shop, show me your bill. Have you paid or not? Okay, so that is what? Outbound. Because once you're going out, I'm not going to be check your temperature. Once you're coming in, so obviously I'm not expecting you show me your bill, because you're just entering them. Okay, once you will shop, once you will do some shopping, after that I'm expecting any bill. So this is what inbound policy, outbound. Okay. What is the interface? Where? F0/1. 10.2. I'm talking about on router 2. Okay. Clear, guys? Now, one router, second router. Okay. One switch, second switch. Another router, another router, another router, another router. Okay. One ISP. Connected with this one, connected with here, connected with this one, connected with this one. We are connected here, connected here, connected here, connected here. Okay. Now, this is clear or not? Now, these are my routers. Okay. I'm using here network 10.1.1.0/24. I'm using here 10.2.2.0/24. IPs I'm assigning here .1 from the same network. It's all about .2, .10. Any doubt? This is what .10, .1, .2. Any question? Yes, guys. Any questions? This is ISP. ISP means it's all about router. What is that? Router only. If router is there, we have one network here now. What's the network? 11.1.1.0/24. This is all about 20.0.1.1.0 network. IP I'm going to be used here .10. I'm going to be used here .10. Here I'm going to be used it as a .100, and here I'm going to be used .100. This is site A. This is all about Delhi. This is all about Bangalore. Which locations? Delhi and this is Delhi here. This is all about BLR, Bangalore itself. Clear or not? Any doubt up to now? Two sites. We are using here routers and all. We are same using here different routers. You can use here any end device also. Any PC. Okay, you can use PC also. It's up to you. If you want to use PC here, you can, and if you want to use your router, you can use. I can convert a router. I can use a router as a PC also. I can use it as a PC also. So how to convert your router into a PC? That we will discuss in the upcoming. That means tomorrow we will discuss. So what you have to do, you have to use, mostly you guys are using GNS, right? Who's using packet tracer? You, 2, 3. Why? RAM? Why with 12 still GNS is slow? Okay, Durga, RAM. Install GNS today. Why not work? Why it's there? I don't know. Raghu, RAM. Oh, yes. Anyone else? I want GNS tomorrow. Okay, I want GNS only. How you will install that I don't know. Okay, clear? Any exams after this class? Any guys who has go with it? Durga, Raghu, do you have to go to college or something? No. Any another one? No. You guys? Oh, you have 4 GB. No, there's no option. You? Any office? Office. Sure, na? Okay. You guys have to install GNS. Otherwise, use EV, NG. Then through that one. Go to 4th floor. You have two options, GNS or EVNG with Wireshark. That I don't know how will you install it. So this is the ACL for tomorrow. Otherwise, this is the ACL. On this this is the interface. Where is the direction? In is the direction. And what is the ACL? What is the rule? When I need GNS or EVNG. No packet tracer. Clear? Not for you, but try that thing. Okay, because if you are working. Okay, guys, ACL, interface, or direction is clear or not now? So this is actual ACL. This is not an example. Okay, so tomorrow you have to come with your GNS or EVNG. That I don't know. Okay, now Sagar is there. Okay. So GNS and EVNG, guys. Can you hear me, guys, now? Okay. So the thing is, you have to use routers, this one and this one. Okay. And you have to use from here to here. You don't have to use any EIGRP, any dynamic routing protocol. You have to use here default route. You have to use what? You have to use default route. Okay. And you have to ping from here to here. Because if you will use any dynamic routing protocol, everything will be happen automatically within fractions of seconds. But you have to use two things. You can use default routing or you can use static routing. Okay, but this is what? This is my edge device. This is also my edge device. And edge device means towards ISP. So here you have to use only default route. You have to use what? Default route. But here you can use anything, static route or whatever is there. That I don't know. Okay, but I need reachability from where to where? From this router to this router, this router to this router. Clear or not? Okay, we need a ping there. Is that clear or not? Okay, so this is your task for the day. Because tomorrow on the same topology, I'll go with the ACL. Okay, so today you have to make sure the reachability with this one with ping. First go with ping because telnet and SSH we will discuss tomorrow. Okay, first we will discuss how to configure telnet, and otherwise telnet I'm telling you now. I'll explain it now. Will take 5 minutes. So you have to go with the two type of traffic. One is ping, and second is you have to go with telnet. Okay, so from which devices I want this thing and devices to end devices. And devices means this end device or this end device. Clear or not? Okay, or these are the considerate. One more interesting thing here. You have to consider it, guys, as a users, and this is also what? Users in this network. Okay, then you have to do one thing, add one more router here. One more router here, one more router here. This one and this one. We will use these routers as a server. Define host name as a server 1 and define host name as a server. Or you can say, you can define it as a host name, define as a Delhi server. This is what? Delhi server, and this is what? Your VLR server. Okay, so what is the overall thing? Delhi users will access Bangalore server, and Bangalore users, they will access Delhi server, but with a limited access there. Okay, limited. And on this server, what are the things? We will go with ping, we will go with the telnet, and we will enable here HTTP service. These three services we will check it, and we will go with the SSH also. Okay, so today I'll show you how to configure telnet. So today you can practice that thing. HTTP and SSH we will discuss in the minutes. We will discuss it tomorrow. Clear or not? Task is clear or not? Don't be smart. Don't try to be smart. Don't use any OSPF or EIGRP. Okay, only default route in this direction. Here it should be default route. I'll mention here only. 2 minutes someone after that only. This and this one and this one here. In this one, you can use only default route. Okay. Here it's up to you, but try to use static routing. Okay. And if you are using PC, then you have to find out what is the solution. Clear or not? This is your task. Telnet. How to configure Telnet? Telnet means, actually guys, let's consider this is one of the router. Okay. And this is one of my PC here, and I'm connected. If I have to access this particular device, so ISP with this one. Okay, I have to access this router. The IP is considered here. I'm using 11.1 and I'm using here 20.1. I have to go with remote access. I have to go with the remote access there. So for the remote access, there are two options. One is Telnet, which is not secure, and second is SSH, which is secure. SSH port number 22, Telnet port number 23. Overall, which transfer protocol they use? TCP, and TCP protocol number 6. Any doubt? By default, Telnet and SSH is disabled on the routers there. We have to enable it. Okay. What are the commands to enable? That command is always in the configuration mode. The command is line VTY 024. Before that, you have to configure username and password. Username Cisco. The password is Cisco. This is the command. I hope you are aware about that, how to configure username and password. Use your this lab manuals. Everything is there. Okay. Line VTY, this one is there. Then transport port Telnet. Then login local, and then done. Please note down the command. How to enable Telnet. What is the meaning of the command? That I'll explain now. But first, note it down. And tomorrow, guys, the session will be at 9 o'clock, not at 8. Okay. It will be 9 to 10:30 or 11, whatever will be there. Okay. Because it's Saturday, so tomorrow not 8. It's 11 o'clock. Okay. And 11, sorry, not 11, 9. And 9 means 9, not 9:20. Okay. Commands done, guys. Do you know there is a three-way handshake process in TCP? Very good. Okay. Now then, Arvinda. Commands done, guys. See, let's consider I'm not going for any remote access. This is for the remote access here. First is all about physical access with the help of one console cable. Do you know what is the console cable? Console cable. Yes or no? Yeah. So we have always console port on the devices or not for the physical access. We have one auxiliary port as well, which is in a backup of console. If console is not working, I can use auxiliary port as a console port there. So we have specific hardware or not? We have specific one cable or not? But for the remote access, we don't have any physical hardware or any type of hardware on the device there. If this is one of your Telnet port. On the routers, we have F00 interface. This interface is what? For the data transfer. Let's consider I have one more interface here. This is console port here. This is what? This is all about? It's all about console. We have physical interface or not? Physical hardware. But guys, there is no concept about Telnet port. There's no concept about SSH port number. There's an Okay, there's no concept about that. So we have to go with the virtual concept. Okay, that virtual concept is known as virtual terminal. That is known as virtual terminal. So we have to use what now? We have to use virtual terminal concept. Hardware is not there. What is there? Virtual terminal. So first of all, we need username password that is configured. Line VTY. VTY means virtual terminal. What I'm using? I'm using virtual terminal. This is the syntax for any terminal. So the virtual terminal. And what's the syntax here? Line VTY. So this is all about virtual terminal. 0 to 4, what does that mean? Number of users there. Key at the same time, how many users can access it? You can mention it 0 to 1, 0 to 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, whatever is there. I have mentioned what? 0 to 4. So it means how many users? 5 users. Virtual terminal is there. Now let's consider when you have used this command and how many users are allowed it? 4. So 5. So one of my, this is virtual terminal now. This is what? Virtual terminal. Terminal means I'm talking about normally as a port or interface, like console port, fast Ethernet port and all. On this interface, everything is disabled now. So the next question is what you want to enable on this interface. So the command is transport input. What type of input? Telnet on. If you have to enable SSH, mention here SSH. So right now what we are enabling here? We are enabling input as a what? Telnet. So what's the meaning of the second command? On this virtual terminal with 5 users, you are going to be enable Telnet. Okay, clear? Login local. Once now let's consider this is you and you are just trying to log in here. This is the which traffic? Telnet traffic over here. But for any type of remote access, in case if you haven't configured any username and password, so your router won't give you any type of access over there. Means for any type of remote access, we need authentication. We need authentication. What is authentication? Username and password. Once you are going to your college, you have ID card, college ID card. You're working some ABC company, you have ID card. So once if you are entering in the campus of your company or campus of your college, you have to show your ID card or not. So what is that ID? That is all about authentication. So now once you are trying to log in, so what means when you are trying to log in here, what is that? You are trying to enter in the router or not? So router will ask you first username and password. Tell me the username and password. You have already configured username password. So on this terminal, we have to enable authentication. What we have to enable? Authenticate. And by default, that is also disabled. So login local. Login means you are trying to log in here, and local means once you will try to log in, then use local database of the router. This username and password we have configured where? On router itself. This is what? On router itself. Guys, if I'm talking about username and passwords, we have two concepts. My router, I have to configure username and password. Let me configure here username Ahmed and password. This as I have configured where? On router itself. So this username and password is present in the local database of the router. So this database is known as local database of router. Local database of router. Okay, but we have one more option. The option is use one another server. Then configure your username Amit and password Amit here on. That is configured where? On another route, on another server. What is that server? This server is known as AAA server. This server is also known as ICE server, Identity Service Engine. This server is known as Active Directory, which is Microsoft product. We can use here LDAP. We can use here SAML and all. So these things you will learn in the high-end classes, like in CSI type of things. But right now consider one another server. Okay. This is your PC. This is via what? ISP. I'm connected where? Here only, and here. Clear or not? This is clear or not? Two things we have. One, we have local database, and second, I have centralized database. This database is also known as centralized database. This data is all about centralized. Now, oh, 9:55 or 10 o'clock. Done. 15 minutes more. That's it. 15 to 25. Now, two type of database. What is there now? See, if I'm talking about here type of database. So we have two type of database. One is the local and second is centralized. And the centralized, what are the option? AAA, ICE, AD, LDAP, SAML, and all those type of Kubernetes also there. So like that. So many things are there. Now from here, I'm going with the telnet. I'm going with telnet. If you are PC, if you are using PC, then use PuTTY there. We have one PuTTY software. And if you are using router, then use the command as a what? Telnet. And let's consider this IP is all about 11.1. So as a what? 11.1.1. Is that clear or not? Okay. Request will be where? This request will be on this particular router. We have already configured terminal. How many users allowed it? 4. On that virtual terminal, which traffic is allowed it? Telnet. And now next is what? Login local. Login means that now authentication will happen. What is the meaning of login? Authentication will happen. Now, authentication is happen, okay. Now this router will ask you, okay, you are trying to access it, but please enter username and password. Please enter username and password. You have to enter username and password. What is the username? Amit or maybe Amit over. Username and password is what? Amit or not? This input is again here, username and password. So now router has to be check it. Is this correct username or not? Because maybe wrong username is there on your mobile phones. Once we are entering our username, password, and maybe face lock and all. Okay. So what is that? That is means one authentication. Okay. And that username and password is always present on my local device. Okay. So this is what? Username and password here. So when you will mention here local, so router will check in its local database only. Router will check it where? It will check it local database. And the local database, is there an Amit or Amit is there? Yes, that is there. So then it will allow the access. Let's consider you are trying to log in with username Amit and cover. Okay. Now login local. Login local means login means authentication enable. And local means ki, okay, authentication is enabled. So it means once someone will try to access this particular device, I have to ask, who are you? Because what is authentication? Who are you? And after that, this guy will enter what? Username and password. So then I have to check it. Where should I have to check it? Then in the local database. So let's consider this time username and password is Amit Tawar. Amit username and password is what? Tawar. In my local database, do I have any user or password with Amit or Tanwar? That is not there. So now authentication. In database, if there's username and password is not configured, so obviously no authentication there. Second option is you don't use local one. We can use one of the centralized. And let's consider this is connected here. And this is 15.1 and it's all about 15.2. You are trying to log in. Step number 1, telnet. Step number 2, who are you? You will enter your username and password. And here at the place of the local, they will mention here 15.2. So means authentication is there. Now authentication is happening. Let me check it. Where is my database? Which database should I check it? Okay, 15.2. So it means I have to go to where? I have to go to the another device. Where is the 15.2? 15.2 is here. Let me check it. Username, password is there. Amit and Amit is there. Yes, that is there. So then it will allow the action. So, but in your syllabus, we don't have any this concept here. So we have which database? Local database. Why I have explained this thing? just to make the difference. Okay, just to make you understand what is the difference between centralized and any local database. So we have to use which database? We have to use always local database, and local database is present always where? On the desktop. And after that, this is clear or not? How to configure it? Mention this. Done or not? Okay, so first create one virtual terminal, then enable the users, then allow the telnet traffic, then enable authentication, and after authentication, which database? We have so many options. During configuration, after login, you can use one question mark, and then you will get the answer how many database we can check. Okay, but before checking that, before this thing, use one more command if you want to see here, because here we will have more than one option. In case if you want to check it at the place of the local in the centralized data system, how many options do we have? Use one more command, AAA new model. If you want to see, if you want to check it, this is optional, because if without this command, if you will use this login, and after that if you will use the question mark, so only which database will be there? Local will be there. If you want to check it, if you want to enable centralized data system also, okay, then one command is there. What is that? AAA. If you want to check it, this is just an optional. Okay, otherwise this is not mandatory, because for us we don't have any centralized concept, we have only local database. So what are the commands required? Only these are the commands. But if you want to check it after login, how many options are there? So first you have to use this command, because with the help of this command, your centralized database concept will be enabled. Okay, we are done. So this is your task, guys. Okay, this is the task. Okay, clear or not? I'm done for the day. Then see you tomorrow. One second. ACL or now. Online, guys, any questions, any doubt? Then guys, see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Okay, not 8. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.